All right. Jesse on fire. Oh, look at this. Jesse, aren't you supposed to be home right now? I feel like you're supposed to be home. This doesn't look like your home. Funny thing, it's not my home. And look at you guys. That thing you can see out of the corner. That's not my wife either. That's a prostitute. She's very expensive.
Very expensive.
She cost me half my money, dude. Totally worth it. So let everybody come on, and then I'm going to talk about the fights and the weekend and every other thing because god damn, son. God damn. What's up? So here's what I will say first and foremost about going to shows. It's awesome. However, when it comes to I am still in Jacksonville. Flights got canceled. Made us sit there for 5 fucking hours telling us, your flight takes off at 4:15. Oh, but like they literally started at its pushback to 4:30. It was like 15 minutes, dude. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 20 minutes. Now another 30 minutes. We're like, what the fuck? Khamzat Chimaev was in the airport with us. Like we literally checked in at the same time, went to security at the same time. They missed their flight. Like, so their gate was right next to ours. So his whole team, like we were literally like, I went up and shook his hand, but I didn't want to fuck with him. He looked exhausted and everyone was going up and fucking with him. But they got up and they missed their flight. And I was saying to Gabrielle, I was like, oh, those poor fuckers, dude. Like they were just dicking around, dude. Like they completely, dude, the way that Khamzat and his crew missed their flight is fucking hilarious, dude. Like they were literally walking right next to us. And Khamzat goes to his team. He's like, we're late, brother. Like we literally, Gabrielle, right?
Yeah.
We heard him say, he's like, we're late, brother. And then they stopped, like as if he didn't say it. They went to Starbucks. They chilled. It took them like 25 minutes at Starbucks. They come back to the gate and they had closed the doors. And then they were sitting there for an hour trying to like argue with the people to get them to open the doors, and they wouldn't open the fucking doors, dude. But then
they got on the next.
So the point of that story is that I was like, oh, those poor fuckers, right? They're going to be here all day. And then they just sat there for 4.5 hours fucking with us, just moving it back 15 minutes at a time. They ended up getting on another flight and we were still standing there, and then they fucking canceled our flight, dude. Unreal, dude. Okay, I rate the energy in the building last night compared to any other events that I have been to 100% non-comparable.
It was 100%.
Like it was
It was amazing.
I can't even I've been to a million sporting events. I've been to a lot of UFCs. I've been to the last 4 UFCs, like the last 4. I've probably been to, I don't know, maybe 5 other ones total. And that building was, it's just completely not comparable, dude. Like it's like a completely non-comparable experience. It wasn't like that the whole night. And you want to know what's crazy? You want to know when it started? It started when Dana brought DeSantis in. I don't know. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't even know if you guys saw that. Like,
they did.
It was on the pay-per-view.
I don't know.
Like, was it on the pay-per-view when he brought DeSantis in, or was that just like local? Like dude, I fucking high-fived Rogan, Dana White, and DeSantis last night. Like that's where our fucking seats were. And when they brought in DeSantis, the whole place went fucking bananas, dude. And yeah, but like that was pretty, like I think that was right around the main card, and then he went back and then he came back out. But when the Burns and Chimaev fight happened, actually, you know what? That's not even true, dude. It went pretty crazy even before that. Like the Mackenzie Dern fight was really, really loud because they like, you know what it seemed like? Actually, it seemed like there was a lot of people in the crowd that actually understand grappling. You know, like a lot of times when people like when fighters grapple, people are like, boo. I mean, there's obviously some fucking drunken retards who don't understand the fight game at all, and they were booing. That there's always that. But like, there was also a lot of people that like when people would have like really sick like roll escapes or whatever, the whole place would go nuts, man. But yeah, F-boy, thank you, dude. But Burns and Chimaev, that fight was legitimately the most like collective energy I've ever seen focused in the same direction at the same time and enthusiasm. Like like, I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a fight where in the middle of like, or if I was ever at a fight where in the middle of the fight, the whole entire auditorium stood up and screamed at the top of their lungs, like as if it was the end of the best fight ever, except it was like the middle of the second round. That shit happened 5 fucking times during that fight. Like they legitimately, that happened 5 times where like everyone just was like, you know, everyone just couldn't believe it, dude. Like they just stop and everyone stand up and just go, woo. Like, I can't even imagine what it would have been like to be in there, dude. Like I legitimately cannot even. The best moment of the entire night, though, the best moment of the entire night is when, I can't remember if it was in the second or the third round, but it was when Burns and Khamzat had just really banged it out and they were circling each other. And Gilbert was all bloody and he looked right at Khamzat and he smirked at him and winked. And dude, fuck, man. Oh my God.
Food?
It's Uber late. Hello? You're at the front deal? Are you at the front desk?
Day.
Okay, my wife's going to come down. She'll meet you at the front desk. Thank you.
She sounds jolly.
I mean, going off this day, I'm surprised she's not like, hey, I meant to bring your food, but instead I kidnapped your kid. Khamzat got booed? No. What happened, dude? Khamzat, when like, just to put in perspective what that fight was like. I don't know if you guys have seen my story, but look at this. Like, whoa, I gotta be careful what fucking videos I'm showing out of my camera roll. God damn. You know, and to put in perspective where we were sitting. You know, like that, those are our seats. And but before, like, the whole place was like, Khamzat. People were fucking going nuts, man. And he came out, sprinted out, went completely crazy. Burns got booed like a motherfucker on his way out. Like they acted like, and Burns is in Florida, dude. Like he's a Florida guy and he got booed, man. Like initially. And then in the middle of the fight, like all of a sudden, I mean, the crowd is easily influenced by heart and performance, you know? That was, I mean, here's the thing about going to the fight, though. When it comes to, like, who do you think won? This is, like, the longest tangent ever, but I don't know how I would, you know, be able to talk about this without tangenting. But, like, you get the experience. It's incredible. I mean, like, it's obviously better to be there in person if you have even halfway decent seats, but you are not a good authority on who won. Like, not at all, dude. Like, you know, when you just have to know that like, you know, Salty, thank you or Safety, sorry, thank you very much, dude. It showed another side of Khamzat for sure. But I'll talk about the breakdown also, because it's very, I mean, people are saying a lot of shit, not a lot of shit, but just saying a lot of things about Khamzat after that fight that I'm listening to that I'm like, nope, that doesn't apply. Nope, that doesn't apply. Yes, that does apply. I was like, and Anthony Smith was at Disneyland with his family. And so he and I were like texting throughout the fights. And I'll tell you what he said about it too. But like, so basically, I have no idea who won the fight. Like, I have no idea. Anthony said he thought Gilbert might have won. Like right at the end, he's like, dude, I think Gilbert might have won that. And fuck, dude, I don't, you know, like I have a cage in front of me. Like, I'm kind of watching it on TV, but like, you're all distracted. You don't see every single punch the way that you do when you're at home. You know what I mean? But McGregor's come up way more impressive. Okay. No, I don't agree with that. And I'll tell you exactly why. Now, here's the deal on all of it, right? So I don't know who I think won. I wasn't upset about the decision or anything. But like, if people have been watching my channel for a long time, this is actually kind of funny, to be honest with you. The first video that I ever had really go, well, actually, no, the very first video I had go viral was I was like first to put out the footage of Mike Perry knocking that old guy out, like that old fat guy that had no idea who he was talking to. And the guy's all, don't touch her, bro. And Mike Perry knocked him out. And I got that footage out super quick, and that I got a shitload of views on that. But the second video that I had go viral really early on was when I put out footage of Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev sparring. And I said my prediction for that fight was I thought that Gilbert Burns was going to win. And the reason why is because I was like, I think Gilbert's the best fighter at welterweight. You know, Gary Newman, thank you very much. Khamzat's cut below his eye was a,
for the record.
Khamzat's eye, cut below his eye was a recurring cut. He had the stitches moved a month or so before the fight. Interesting. I mean, he's definitely had it at the airport today.
Yeah.
But I thought, so going into the Usman fight, I was like, dude, Gilbert Burns is going to beat him. I was like, he's more explosive. He's better on the, well, at least like, you know, Kamaru's basically broke down like this. Kamaru's not going to take him down. So you're going to be stuck on the feet with Gilbert. And Gilbert is an explosive fucking murder machine. And that was when Kamaru was still in that transition to where you hadn't really ever seen him where you can really respect his striking. You know, it was like he had stood and traded with Colby, and that was the only fight where he really like relied heavily on his striking. It was that was his first. Can you stop making like crinkling noise around me?
I'm looking. They didn't bring me a friggin' fork, so I'm trying to figure out what I can use to eat my food.
I bet you they have a fork downstairs.
I bet you they don't, because they don't have a restaurant.
You don't think so?
They don't have a restaurant.
Anywho, that's why I got a burrito. So, but yeah, so like they, like I said, the only striking that you had seen from Kamaru at the time was against Colby in the first fight. And it was like, okay, yeah, he looked pretty good, but he looked good against Colby, and Colby kind of, you know, whatever. And so I really thought Gilbert was going to win. And Gilbert almost knocked Kamaru out in the first round. And since then, Gilbert beat Wonderboy. So like my opinion of Gilbert hadn't really changed. Like I was like, or it still hasn't. My opinion of Kamaru has changed. That like Kamaru is fucking unreal, dude. Like his striking is super crisp and super legit. I mean, crisp for MMA, super legit. He's got a lot of power. So him knocking out Gilbert, it's like, fuck, dude, that guy's got a lot of power. But Gilbert is just as good as I thought he was. So like Kamaru coming in, Khamzat coming in and beating Gilbert, like that's super fucking impressive, dude. He fought 4 people in the UFC. He has 10 total fights. He's 27. He's never claimed to be a striker. You know what I mean? Like he was a wrestler that he said, you know, he's like, you haven't even seen me strike. He throws one punch and people are like, okay, whatever. Like, here's the thing. It's very impressive. The question is just like, do you think he can beat Kamaru? And I don't now. Like, I don't think he couldn't beat Kamaru like soon, but if he goes in there with his like, and if he took the exact same approach against Kamaru's going to starch him. I mean, Kamaru's going to starch him. If he goes in there and does exactly what he did against Burns, Kamaru's going to throw he's going to throw straight punches down the cock and he's going to fuck him up, dude. Unless Khamzat could take him to the ground, you know, but if he stands on his feet and throws wild like he did at Gilbert against Kamaru, who throws straight punches down the cock that can fucking decapitate you, he's going to do that, you know? But yeah, man. Yeah, we had a fucking blast, dude. This one it was so fun, dude. It was so fun. You know, the first time we did it at 272 was fun, but I just had no idea what the fuck I was doing. You know, it's kind of like, all right, so, and it was in Vegas. Like now we have like a formula. Like it's like the correct way to do it is you meet somewhere, chill on Friday where we can all hang out, get to know each other. Then you kind of, you know, go do something. Then you go to the fights together and everybody kind of knows it. It's just like that. Now I know the like correct way to do it. But yeah, dude, we met at the hotel on Friday. We had some drinks. We had a great fucking crew. We all rode Lime scooters. Fucking 12 people on Lime scooters, like a fucking biker gang over to Rogan.
Hardest core biker gang.
Then we did the same thing last night. But
I know you have a spoon somewhere. Where is it? Before I tear everything.
Khabib knocked down McGregor hard against a master striker, quote unquote. Do you understand how many times I've fucking addressed that on this channel? Jesus.
You're in trouble.
Okay, so do you think that like if Conor and Khabib like just did a pure boxing match that would have happened? Because obviously not. Okay. Khabib took Conor down and wore him out in the first round. So he made Conor afraid of getting shot on. Khabib shot like he was going to shoot, and then he hit him with an overhand right. Okay. So like if there's no threat of a shot, then he doesn't knock Conor down. Khabib's a much better mixed martial artist than Conor. But in terms of like just stand-up striking, pure striking, it's a obscene contention that Khabib is competitive with Conor. Mike Perez, thank you very much, sir. People are forgetting Khamzat was fasting. What is it?
Ramadan.
Is it Ramadan right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Gary Newman, thank you very much. I think Khamzat forgot everything he planned for the fight as far as strategy went. Be careful on those Lime scooters. I've seen some fall hard. Yeah, dude, I ride much more dangerous shit than those, but yeah, that's true. Yeah, he wasn't fasting, or else we would have heard about that. But he's like, he lives with fucking Darren Till, dude. Khamzat cannot go 5 rounds against Colby. I don't think that the Burns fight, I don't think that what we saw against Burns translates to the Colby fight as much as it does to the Kamaru fight. Like what I saw in that fight last night translates directly to the Kamaru fight, where I can look at that and I can make a pretty bold, pretty strong prediction about what happens against Kamaru. Just because Kamaru has reliant, fucking dead straight, vicious knockout power punches. And Khamzat has a kind of loose, wild striking, you know, like he was trying to fucking decapitate Gilbert with every single shot. Every single shot. Now, this is the question, though. And this is the question that people need to ask themselves about Khamzat versus Kamaru. Is he was able to get Gilbert on the ground a little bit, but Gilbert was a huge threat from the bottom and made Khamzat step back at least once. Now, Kamaru's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but he's not a Gilbert Burns black belt in jiu-jitsu. So, like, if Khamzat somehow gets Kamaru on the ground, that changes things, you know. But yeah, I mean, neither guy lost that fight. It's as simple as that, dude. I mean, I know, like, in my opinion, like Burns is gonna be a fucking star now. Like, there's like, I was saying this about Chandler after the Gaethje fight, where I was like, there's no way that anyone has ever had their stock go up more in a loss than Chandler did against Gaethje. And it was exactly the same for Burns. No one gave him a fucking chance. He was a 4-1 underdog, which is patently absurd in hindsight. And yeah, that decision could have gone either way. Khamzat versus the winner of Luque and Bilal for a #1 contender match. No, they're going to do Khamzat versus Colby for the #1 contender match. If I had to put things into simplest terms, what do I think Khamzat's odds of beating Kamaru, assuming he beats Colby next fight? Well, here's the thing. Like, from how good Khamzat's gotten as quickly as he has, he's a brash, I'm going to smash everybody guy. But he's going to learn. He got touched, dude. He got touched a lot. He got knocked down multiple times. If you think he's not going to make adjustments to his striking, I disagree. But with that said, he did say directly, he disregarded all of his coach's instructions, right? Like, he's like, I just didn't listen to my coaches at all. I thought I was just going to run through them. Now, that in and of itself, that's one statement that you can listen to and go, oh, really? Because a person can say anything they want, as long as they're running through their competition, right? Like you can go like, I'm gonna smash everybody. And then if you fucking smash everybody, then no one needs to worry about any other types of things that might contribute to whether you win or lose a fight or future fight. But I hear that against Gilbert Burns, where his coaches are like, listen, this is a different animal. You know, you really need to fight him this way. And he goes, I just disregarded it, buddy. I just went in there and did what I was going to do. I tried to decapitate him. And it's like, ooh. Now maybe he'll learn from that, right? He's only 27 years old. You hear the stories about him fucking ripping around his hot rod with Bisping in the back. Bisping's like, hey guys, I have like multiple kids. They're all like, you know, so maybe he'll grow up a little bit as he gets older, but like, I mean, that's all. Like I would say you've got a couple takeaways that are positive, and then you've got a couple takeaways that are suspect in terms of, you know, his, you know, if you were going to just bet on the future of his career, right? Crypto, I'll respond to that in 1 second. And thank you both, Muhammad and Khalil. I'm sorry, True Crypto and Muhammad. So I would say in the positive, what you have is he's tough as fuck. Like he's like a banger. He is a hard dude. He doesn't like, because you've never seen him even get challenged even a little bit. You hadn't seen him. You have no idea if he's his chin. You have no idea what his heart is. You know, what's going to happen if he gets pushed to the limit? Is he going to keep fighting, or is he going to be like, oh my God, I actually ran into someone who's tough. Am I going to wilt? And that shit fucking matters, dude. That matters a lot. Because that's Conor's problem. That's Conor's biggest problem, in my opinion, is when if he's the front runner and he's kind of in a guy's head or he's having success early, he is a fucking steamroller, dude. If you show him your back, like at all at the beginning of the fight, he's going to fuck you. He's literally going to like grab you by the hair, take you in the shower and fuck you. But if if he slams up against a brick wall and he realizes you're not going to bend, you know, and then you're able to push him back a little bit, just, you know, kind of metaphorically, then Conor starts to not, you know, he starts to quickly wilt, where Khamzat ran into a fucking brick wall and started going. I mean, you could see it. There was a moment during the fight where I was like, I said to fucking Randy, the dude sitting right next to me, I'm like, did Khamzat just take a step backwards? It was the first time I'd ever seen him do that. Like where you could tell he took a step backwards because he got touched and because he was like, you know, he like, just like where I'm talking about, not just like a step backwards. You know, obviously you take a step backwards in a fight, but it was a different kind of step backwards where it was like, he needed a second to step back and re-engage because he got fucking hurt and he was tired, you know? True Crypto, I'll go back to that. Let me just read these real quick. Triple C would have TKO'd Sterling standing and definitely would have wrestled Yan down easily. Triple C versus Volk is the fight. I agree. I don't know. I got to think about Yan and Sterling, but I definitely want to see Triple C versus Volk. I'm all for. Adam Watts, thank you very much. I sense that Khamzat was compromised due to believing his own hype last night. Before last night, he was the vessel for our imaginations. He's human now. Dude. Yeah. I mean, look, so the title of this video is He's Human. Here. That's exactly what Anthony said, the very first one. That was like everybody's like first take. He's human. But he fought through it. It was a fucking incredible fight, man. It'll be really interesting to see how he responds now, you know, where like, because he won and he won an incredibly brave, like he had to fight through some serious fucking adversity last night and he won anyway. You know, I think people interpret it the way that they interpret it because they've only seen him run through guys. And so everyone's just, I mean, that's how Gilbert ends up a fucking 4-1 underdog. He's Gilbert fucking Burns, dude. He's a 4-1 underdog against a guy who's never fought anyone in the top 10, which made no fucking sense. I bet on Gilbert before the fight. I said, I'm like, I think Khamzat's probably going to win, but 4-1 underdog is absolutely patently absurd. But yeah, so check this out. speaking of that, so Randy, same guy, he did a parlay where he had a few fights and then he parlayed. And then in addition to that, he did Gilbert Burns, Aljamain, and Korean Zombie. And that brought his odds up to $100 bet would have paid him 87 grand. And so, and like someone relayed that to our group, like me and a bunch of other people. And we looked and I'm like, Jesus, I'm like, that can't be right. Because they got it confused. I thought it was just those 3 fights. I looked it up though, but just those 3 fights. Okay. Like a $50 bet was going to pay out 6 fucking grand if all 3 of those guys pulled off the upsets because they were such huge underdogs. So me and all the other people each put in like 20, it was like $20 is going to pay you 20, like 2,400 or something like that. I bet 50 was going to pay me 6 grand. And so Gilbert could have won that decision. And then Aljamain did win. And so we were going into the zombie fight and all of us were like, dude, if fucking Korean Zombie wins this fight and the only thing that kept him from 87 grand, me from 6, all these guys are 24 each, is the Gilbert Burns decision. We're going to flip the table over. And I said, I was like, but look, man, Zombie's not winning this fight. So we don't need to worry about it. And he didn't. So that was lucky. TJ's Abstract Studios. Thank you very much, man. Great content. Appreciate it. You are an inspiration, sort of funny. After last night, I feel Colby beats Khamzat. Thank you for the donation, my friend. I don't necessarily agree, though. I just like Colby and Burns are not the same. Like they're just not the same. They're not the same because you like, as an example, if you look at Colby versus Masvidal, that fight has absolutely like there's nothing to get from that fight. Like you watch it 100 times and you'll be like, okay, that tells me nothing about when he fights Khamzat. Nothing. And you could watch him fight Kamaru, and that'll tell you a lot more. Because you can watch his striking, because very likely that Khamzat and Colby will spend a fair amount of time striking, and Colby intentionally doesn't throw heavy power. Now, if he's able to avoid getting knocked out by Kamaru, then he should theoretically be able to avoid getting knocked out by Khamzat. And so, I mean, he's got a good shot in that fight if they fight immediately. For sure. He does have a good chance of winning, but Khamzat's a fucking monster too, dude. Like anybody, like, I just think everyone has drastically underestimated Gilbert Burns. I don't think that people because everyone thinks of him as the 155-pound fighter. This is what I kept saying before he was going into the Kamaru fight, where I was like, guys, he's a fucking completely different person at 170 because he doesn't have a soft chin. For some reason, he's vulnerable to that jab right down the cock, like he doesn't see it coming or something. Game is he's a fucking multi-time world champion in jiu-jitsu, but we'll see. Joe, thank you very much. Khamzat has never been in a war like that. This shows him everything he needs to work on for his future fights. He will be much scarier. Thank you, by the way. Well, like I said, we'll see because it completely depends on how he responds. If he takes it in stride, doesn't get caught up in any kind of ego stuff, and he's like, I'm going to learn from that, then yes, I agree. Brooke, thank you very much. Sean O'Malley beats Yan. Sean O'Malley beats Yan, Sterling, and Corey. I'm trying to think of each one. I would love to see him fight Yan. Sterling, it just completely depends on his ability to get away from him and not let Aljamain close distance. For some reason, everyone's watching that fight, and what they saw was like, I don't know what the hell they were watching, because in case you guys missed it, like Aljamain's grappling is fucking bananas, dude. Like they're all, I was reading like the comments. Everyone's like, what a ridiculous fucking decision. Like what, he just got 2 takedowns? Like, dude, he didn't get 2 takedowns. He got 2 takedowns and with a guy who was always immediately getting up. He held him down, flipped over, took his back and locked him in a body triangle, and then tried to submit him for fucking 9 straight minutes. That's not just getting a takedown, But at the same time, on the feet, he had nothing for him. I mean, he had nothing for him. So, yeah, I mean, he's a huge threat to Sean on the ground, obviously. Aljamain's a huge threat to anyone on the ground. I mean, just go watch what he did to fucking Sandhagen, man. True Mancunian. Thank you, dude. I can see why Luke Rockhold wanted the Khamzat fight. Luke Rockhold wants every fight, I feel like. I don't know why he's not getting one, dude. I think Luke's a stud. Diamond Johnson, thank you very much. Gilbert even said in an interview that it'll be easier to be Khamzat now than it will be in a few years. It'll be easier to beat him. You're right. Yeah. I didn't hear him say that, but that's a good take. He's only 27, man. Dude, you know who's up? You want to know who is a fucking superstar in the making if he continues to win? You guys tell me. Tell me in the comments. Who's the superstar from that card if he continues to win? Go. Meanwhile, I will say thank you to Tyler Smitke. Thank you very much, dude. Ian Garry, correct. 100%, dude. That guy's a fucking superstar. You should have seen him in person, dude. Like that guy's got charisma coming out of his eyeballs. His dad was at our hotel. We saw fucking everybody this weekend. Like as soon as we got there, like we went down to the bar. Brett Okamoto was at the table right next to us. Everyone saw Herb Dean. They ran into Khamzat. Khamzat's there's a bunch of UFC people at the airport, but MJ, thank you very much. Fan of O'Malley. He doesn't beat any three of those three mentioned. We'll see, dude. We'll see. So what else? So yeah, on the Yan and Aljamain fight, here's what I saw. I thought Peter Yan won, but again, I was shaky on it for one specific reason, because it definitely came down to the first round. I mean, there's just no fucking question, man. Like there's no question that Aljamain won the second and the third, and Yan won the fourth and the fifth. So it comes down to the first round. Now, the way I interpreted the first round was I was watching it through the lens of is Aljamain going to have the same level of success breaking Yan's rhythm as he did in the beginning of the first fight? Because in the first fight, I was really impressed by how he was able to do that, like use like super herky jerk movement to kind of break Peter Yan's rhythm and touch him. And he didn't have success doing that. So like, to me, I was like, oh, Yan won the first round. Like that was how I interpreted it. But at the same time, I'm not seeing everything the way I would if I was watching it at home. And Anthony, who was watching it on TV, said that, actually, I'll read it to you because it was a really interesting take. Hang on. He said, oh yeah. I was like, when Yan came out, he walked right by us, and I was like, dude, this little Siberian fucker's the hardest 135 pounds on the planet. Anthony's like, he's Russian. I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure that Siberia's in Russia. I think, right? No, but he said the first was very close, could have gone either way. Yan had crazy pressure, overthrew a lot, didn't land much. Aljo landed more in the first. The key phrase is effective striking. Maybe that's what keyed in on that first round. Yan looked more polished, more aggressive, but didn't land a lot and was outlanded by Aljo. So, and I read that to you because obviously Anthony would know better than me, especially because he's watching it on TV. But that's, that was his take, But, I mean, Yan's a monster, dude. Like, plain and simple. You should see him. Oh, my God. Like, the reason I texted that to him is because he walked right by me, and you just look at him and, like, he's like a tiny little dude, and you just look at him and you're like, God damn. You don't want none of that fucking guy, dude. He's like a little ball of dynamite. Like, have you ever seen what's the name of those mini pit bulls, Gabriel? Staffordshire Bull Terriers. He's like a Staffordshire Bull Terrier that was bred in a fucking dog fighting camp. Like, he's like a pocket pit bull that only fought real big dogs and always held his own. And then they put him against like another pocket pit bull and he just tears her throat out. Volkanovski was so much better than fucking Korean Zombie is ridiculous. Good night, Matthew Porter. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, though. I wanted to get something up because I have not been able to film. I don't even have my fucking camera. And I was in Miami and then Jacksonville, and we just got our flight canceled, so I needed to get something up. But I am fucking exhausted. My flight got canceled. I wish I was home with my kids, and I'm not. I have my QBR this week, and I need to get home. So fingers crossed that American Airlines comes through. Shout out to everybody that was there this weekend. Incredible, incredible, incredible time. Phoenix is going to be super fun too. So, and shout out to everybody who said what's up at the show last night too. Everybody was really nice. We had a really good time. That's what I got. Love you guys. Peace.